One of Hawaii's famous volcanoes, Mauna Loa, became a hot topic after researchers noticed several activities from the biggest volcano on Earth. For today's episode, we'll discuss what will happen when Mauna Loa erupts for the first time in 40 years. Plus, have you ever wondered what would happen if all volcanoes on Earth erupted simultaneously? All this and more, so keep watching if you don't want to miss out. Mauna Loa's last recorded eruption happened 38 years ago, but from the looks of it, this volcano could erupt anytime soon. So what happens when Mauna Loa erupts for the first time in years? Mauna Loa, a volcano in Hawaii, last erupted between March 25th and April 15th, 1984, after experiencing an upsurge in seismic activity for about 2 years. The issue has recently started to erupt more, making it more explosive. The largest active volcano on Earth is 13,000 feet above sea level. The most current U.S. update indicates that Geological Survey, USGS, published on October 30th, said that 27 earthquakes had been located between 4 and 5 kilometers beneath the summit and on the northwest flank of the mountain. The volcano has experienced a rise in earthquake activity since mid-September. Yellow advisory status is currently in effect for the volcano. The hue is a shade darker than green, which denotes usual conduct. Orange, the color level above yellow, denotes that the activity is being watched. Red, the color level above that, denotes an active warning. Officials are adamant that the activity does not herald a forthcoming eruption, but they are cautioning locals to be prepared in case that is not the case. So what happens next if Mauna Loa erupts now? The risk to settlements on the downslope would completely depend on where the eruption happens when the volcano erupts next. According to Scott Rowland, a volcanologist at the University of Hawaii at Manoa's Department of Earth Sciences, who spoke to Newsweek, Rowland claimed that Mauna Loa's magma storage system began to fill almost immediately after the 1984 eruption finished, preparing for its upcoming eruption, whenever that may be. Since then, there have been instances where it appears like magma has escaped from the system's deeper portions and entered its shallower portions. The volcanologist also mentioned that there had been an upsurge in shallow seismicity and surface deformation along with this. So far, none of these have been substantial enough to allow the magma to reach the surface. There will eventually be an eruption when that occurs. Knowing when that will occur is difficult, and volcanologists cannot do so due to the complexity of the volcanic plumbing systems. The good news is that eruptions at Mauna Loa are less hazardous than those at many other volcanoes. In an interview with Newsweek, Rajiv Nair said that Mauna Loa eruptions are not explosive eruptions like Mount St. Helens. Nair, a professor of earth sciences at the University of Calgary, stated that, generally speaking, there's little worry about the mountaintop falling off and damaging settlements or burying communities under thick ash mounds, like the Mount Vesuvius eruption in 78 AD. Nair emphasized that lava flows would be the main threat from a Mauna Loa eruption. He said that during previous eruptions of Mauna Loa, lava flows from its 2 rift zones had made their way into the main islands, Hilo, South Kona, and Ko districts. Therefore, such settlements may be impacted if eruptions occur in those rift zones and are sustained with large amounts of lava flow. Hilo and South Kona may be in the path of lava flows if eruptions on Mauna Loa occur in the lower southwest or northeast rift zones. But if they are contained within the summit caldera, they shouldn't hurt the communities. So is an eruption likely to happen? Although Mauna Loa is one of the most closely watched volcanoes in the world, eruptions are still difficult to forecast. Nair cited that scientists attempt to establish certain patterns for volcanic eruptions to make predictions that can be changed as the reason for this. In the case of Hawaiian volcanoes, earthquake swarms precede eruptions, albeit eruptions do not always follow an earthquake swarm period. Even though Mauna Loa is creating these kinds of seismic swarms, Nair said that a volcano could function in this way for a very long time without erupting, so an eruption at Mauna Loa isn't necessarily imminent. The Hawaii Volcano Observatory scientists have come a long way in educating locals during recent eruptions. An example of this is the 2018 eruption of Kilauea, which served as a warning to the communities in the lower East Rift Zone that an eruption might be imminent thanks to knowledge gained from long-term observations of the patterns of the volcanic processes connecting the summit region and East Rift Zone of Kilauea. However, Mauna Loa's current activity is not at a level that allows predicting impeding eruptions. With Mauna Loa's eruption a possibility, many can't help but wonder, what happens when all the volcanoes on Earth erupt at once? Around the planet, there are around 1,500 volcanoes that could be active. However, a volcano is considered active to scientists if it has erupted within the last 10,000 years, and only about 550 eruptions have been documented throughout human history. However, their size is far more significant than their precise number. Utilizing the volcanic explosivity Activity Index. Eruptions are categorized VEI. A VEI of 1 causes at least 10,000 cubic meters of material to be thrown into the air, and each subsequent number causes 10 times more material to be ejected. Mount Tambora's 1815 eruption, which had a VEI of 7, was the biggest ever noted. 2,600 kilometers away, people reported hearing the explosion, and more than 160 cubic kilometers of material was launched into the atmosphere. For 6 months, one single volcano reduced temperatures by 0.5 degrees Celsius in the northern hemisphere by obstructing the sun with dust. The year 1816, also known as the year without a summer, combined with erratic weather patterns to ruin harvests worldwide. Most living things, including humans, would likely experience extinction if all 32 known VEI 7 or VEI 8 volcanoes suddenly erupted. Most aircraft in the air would crash due to the initial eruptions, which would also bring down buildings in the western USA, South America, southern Europe, and the Far East, and disrupt electricity networks throughout the majority of the developed globe. Ash would contaminate drinking water, global temperatures could drop by 15 degrees Celsius for 6 months, and acid rain would make agriculture unfeasible for the following 10 years. Fortunately, this is almost certainly never going to occur. Localized upwellings of magma beneath the Earth's crust cause volcanoes to erupt. It would be similar to all of the bubbles in a fizzy drink suddenly breaking the surface if every volcano erupted at once. So what's the latest update on Mauna Loa? Mauna Loa's warning level is still at yellow or advisory, but several recent headlines from the American media outlets, including those in Hawaii, convey a more foreboding picture. Mauna Loa-related alerts from the Hawaiian Volcano Observatory and Hawaii County Civil Defense have not been recently issued. A geologist with the Volcano Observatory named Katie Mulliken claimed to have seen some of those news pieces and that several had images that weren't even of the Mauna Loa volcano. Mulliken claimed that images of Kilauea, either from the 2018 eruption or earlier eruptions like the one at Pu'u'o, were being displayed by news organizations, and depending on the headline, that may even give rise to the impression that an eruption is either underway or is about to occur, which is untrue. Even the Hawaii Tourism Authority released a letter assuring tourists that Hawaii is a dynamic and always changing location due to the hype. The Mauna Loa volcano is not erupting at this moment, according to the State Tourism Agency's October 31st e-bulletin. And recent news from the U.S., there is currently no cause for tourists to change their trip plans to Hawaii Island or any of the Hawaiian Islands despite Mauna Loa being monitored by the Geological Survey Hawaiian Volcano Observatory. Instruments using GPS system at the volcano's peak and on its size measured ring inflation at high rates since mid-September. However, over the previous week, no appreciable surface deformation has been seen. However, the Hawaiian Volcano Observatory modified its messaging from weekly to daily bulletins due to the increased disturbance. Mulliken stated that the observation had not detected any indications of an impeding eruption since the warning level for the volcano remained at advisory since 2019. Thankfully, most of Mauna Loa's 33 previous eruptions were contained within the caldera area. Lava can flow swiftly down the volcano's steep slopes when it erupts in another plow. During a community meeting last month in Ocean View, Frank Trustle, another geologist with the Hawaiian Volcano Observatory who has devoted the majority of his career to researching and keeping an eye on Mauna Loa, stated that during an eruption in the volcano's southwest rift zone in 1950, the lava reached the ocean within 3 hours. And that's pretty much the latest update regarding Mauna Loa's volcanic activity. We'll keep you posted as soon as new updates are available. So in the meantime, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on for more videos like these. Thanks for watching and see you next time.